All right, let's jump right in. The world is changing like unbelievably fast, and right at the heart of it all is AI. So the big question is, how do you not just keep up, but actually win in this new era? Well, we've gone and distilled the playbook from the guy at the very center of this whole revolution, OpenAI's Sam Altman.
And this quote right here, this is where we have to start. This isn't just some small incremental software update. Altman says the jump to the next generation of AI is so massive, so powerful, that looking back at the tools we have right now feels, in his words, painful. It's a complete shift in what's possible, and step one is just trying to understand that power.
So here's our game plan. First, we'll look at this new AI dawn. Then, we get practical with a playbook for anyone starting out. We'll talk about how to build a business that actually lasts, what skills make us uniquely human, and wrap up with the huge opportunity this creates for a place like India.
All right, first up, if you want to win, you got to know the tools of the trade, right? And the next big one, well, it's GPT-5. So let's really try to wrap our heads around what we're talking about here.
Yeah, forget the technical specs for a minute. This is how Sam Altman himself describes it, and it's a really big deal. Just imagine it, having a PhD-level expert in any field you can think of, on call 24/7. And not just to answer your questions, but to actually do work for you. That's the mindset shift we need to make.
And this isn't just some abstract idea, you know? It gets real when you see what it can actually do. We're talking about building entire software applications from a simple prompt, or writing deeply complex research reports. It could plan a whole event for you. But the real game changer is its ability to handle long, complicated projects with way more reliability. So you got to stop thinking chatbot and start thinking, well, more like a new partner for getting things done.
Okay, so this incredible new tool is here. It's powerful, it's getting better by the day. So, what does that actually mean for you, right now? Let's dig into the practical advice.
This is the exact question someone asked him, specifically about being 25 years old in Mumbai or Bangalore. And his answer, it's the core of this whole playbook. He basically says this might be the single most exciting time in all of history to be starting your career. Why? Because one person, just you, with these tools can now do what used to take an entire company or decades of work. So what's the move?
It really boils down to three big things. First, you've got to get really good with these AI tools, like truly fluent. It's basically the new coding. Second, you have to be adaptable. You got to learn how to learn and learn fast, because the ground is going to keep shifting under our feet. And third, and this might be the most important of all, you have to master the timeless skill of figuring out what people actually want.
And that third point, well, it's summed up perfectly by this classic line from Y Combinator's Paul Graham. Make something people want. It doesn't get any clearer than that, right? Technology is just the tool. The real lasting skill is figuring out what people will actually pay for, what problem you can solve for them. That is the thing that will always have value. Okay, so you've got the skills, but how do you turn that into a real business? You know, one that doesn't just fizzle out in a year. It's definitely not as simple as just slapping some AI onto an old idea.
And this is a super important warning from Sam Altman. Every single time a new technology comes along, people think the old rules of business just go out the window. They don't, not at all. Using AI is great, it gives you a head start. But that's all it is, a head start. And the clock is ticking for you to build something real, something defensible, before everyone else catches up.
He uses this perfect analogy from the early days of the iPhone App Store. Remember all those flashlight apps? They were just thin wrappers, super simple. And what happened? Apple just built a flashlight into the phone's software, and boom, those businesses were gone overnight. But then you had companies like Uber. They used the platform, the iPhone, to build a massive, complex, real-world business on top of it. So the question you have to ask is, am I building a flashlight app, or am I building an Uber?
So that tells us exactly what we need to do to build something that lasts. First, your business has to get better as the underlying AI gets better. You've got to use that head start to build a real defense, a brand people trust, a network effect, some unique data. But the most important thing, the ultimate defense, it's owning the relationship with your customer. You have to own their experience from start to finish, because that's the one thing the big platforms can't just copy and paste.
So, if AI is going to be doing all this heavy lifting, what's left for us? This is where it gets really, really interesting. This is all about what we can do that AI just can't.
I mean, that's the billion-dollar question, isn't it? In a world that's about to be filled with superintelligence, what's our unique value add? It's not about being smarter in the old-school sense of memorizing facts. The game is totally changing. So what's our edge? Well, here they are, your new superpowers, being contrarian and actually being right. AI is amazing with existing data and patterns, but coming up with a truly wild new idea that actually works, that's human. Building a real community, a real connection, that's human. As Altman says, we are obsessed with other people, their stories, their drama, their successes. That isn't going anywhere.
And this quote from him just absolutely nails it. When the world is flooded with infinite AI-generated content, what becomes rare? What becomes valuable? Being a real person. Authenticity. Knowing that a human with a real, messy life story made something. That's going to be worth more and more.
And this gives us a really good way to think about where that line is, for now at least. An OpenAI researcher pointed out that an AI can solve a math Olympiad problem that takes a human about 90 minutes. That's incredible. But what about proving a brand new mathematical theorem that could take a person 1,000 hours of deep, focused work? That long-term, strategic, independent discovery, that's still our domain.
So finally, let's bring this all home and focus on what might be the single biggest opportunity on the entire planet right now. And we're talking about India.
Get this. Right now, today, India is OpenAI's #2 market in the entire world. And it is on a clear path to become #1. I mean, just let that sink in for a second. The scale of adoption, the sheer enthusiasm, it's just off the charts. And that's not just a statistic on a chart. Sam Altman himself says it's something you can actually feel on the ground. The energy, the momentum around AI in India, he says it's unmatched anywhere else in the world. There's this incredible hunger to use this technology to just leapfrog old problems and build the future.
So it all points to this one clear, epic mission. The opportunity is for India to channel all of that incredible energy into a historic transition, from being one of the biggest consumers of AI to becoming one of the biggest producers of the world-changing products built with it.
And that's really what it all boils down to. The playbook is right there. Master the tools, build a durable business, and double down on your unique human advantages. The platform for creating something new has never been more powerful or more accessible. So the only question left is, what are you going to build?